Letter to Hermione. David Bowie off Space Oddity album. XFM 104.9. See, I don't know where, I thought you'd sort of learned a little bit, Carl, what is an interesting fact, and what might just be a mentalist online. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what point we're making here? Why the truth is so much more even a little bit, even something that's just, you know, mild, but is definitely the truth, is so much more interesting than just wish fulfillment of truth. To me, if it starts with, there was this ghost, right? It's not interesting. You could say anything. There was this ghost that could turn custard into wine. It doesn't matter. There was this ghost that had 9 heads. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. There was this
you know, Carl's looking at you going, there's a ghost that can turn custard into wine?
Yeah, it doesn't matter what you say after that. There's a ghost that can swallow alligators whole. The premise means it's not true to me. Do you know what I mean? It's like people say, you know what? God, right? He's incredible. I'll stop you there. The fact that he can make the earth in 7 days, well, you've lost me already. Do you know what I mean? Whereas someone says something like, you know, a cockroach can live 5 days without a head, that's interesting. That's interesting.
Right. Do you think when you die, they say, you're a ghost, this is going to amaze you. You can go and you can spook people out.
Yeah.
Do you like custard? Come over here.
No. Well, if you don't, you don't. Do you like wine? Of course I do. Oh, you are gonna love it.
You're gonna love me.
You're gonna love it.
I've lost all my loved ones.
Yeah. Do you see what I mean? It's what your sort of beliefs are based on. Mine are sort of on, I suppose, logic and science, and so I'm amazed by the world and.
So the Iceman, why does that amaze you? What's like, ooh.
Well, they found some part of our preserved past. You know, it's interesting. You know, again, I'm amazed by anthropology and evolution.
Yeah, it's just that line on its own like that. You know, they found an Iceman is great, but then it went on, and it's going on about, you know, they've had to get different people involved to find out how old it was. Because first of all, the story started off right. An old fellow on holiday somewhere. Where did they find it? In Sweden or something? And he was walking in the hills, and
he was walking
in the hills.
In heels? Was he a transvestite?
In the mountains.
Oh,
in the hills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's walking about, and he sees this body in the snow, and he thinks, oh. So he calls the police up, and they come and have a look, and he goes, oh yeah, it's probably a murder. So then they dig it up and find out he's got hold of a spear in his hand.
Right, and he's dressed like Fred Flintstone.
Yeah. Right.
And they realise it's probably not a recent murder.
Right.
His knuckles are dragging on the floor. He's a Neanderthal man. They think, hang on, Karl Pilkington.
But when they found out, hang on, it's an old thing.
It's an old thing!
Can it? If it was a murder recent, then you'd go, hang on, how did this happen? Who does he belong to?
Yeah.
Well, the chances are whoever murdered him is also dead.
5,000 years ago, probably, yeah.
So leave it. Just bury it.
I don't think it's a murder investigation.
No, but they are.
It's not Quincy going, this was before my time.
It's not a murder investigation.
Yeah, just one thing bothers me, sir. Just one final thing. My wife loves you, but, this guy.
That's how they were
Why
treating
would he
it.
have a spear and a leopard skin? I just can't get over this. What are you talking about?
That's what I'm saying.
What are you saying? Right, shut up everybody. What are you saying? You've got one chance now. You've got to ask me a question, and I will answer it the best way. But what are you saying? What is your question?
Right, he probably spent a load of money.
That's not a question. That's not a question.
Yeah, but let me tell you what I'm saying, right? They're probably spending a load of money finding out stuff about this fella who died. And even if he wasn't murdered, he'd be dead by now anyway. So get over it, right? 3,000 years ago, he died, right? So then they start messing about with it. Saying, well, how did he die? Well, it doesn't matter. It was ages ago. Then, they start digging his belly open, seeing, last meal that he ate.
Yeah.
Oh, he ate seeds and leaves. Well, no surprise, really. There's now else around. Again, spending more money. Someone's been paid money to sort that out. Then they bury him, and then said, hang on a minute, are you sure that he died by, like, a spear? Let's dig him up again. So they dig him up again, and find some splinter or something.
I don't believe they buried him.
They did. Well, in some sort of fancy coffin so everyone can see him. But for me, that is more wasteful than sorting out something that's, you know, like, someone who's ill. Sort something out, you know,
Sorry, it's not either or. They didn't pull a doctor out of surgery.
Exactly. There's not an old man in a bed in the corridor somewhere.
Yeah,
going,
Ted, what are you doing? I'm just giving this bloke a stat clear. No, look, we found an old fella in a skit. Okay, okay, you take over. It's not either or, Carl. What are you talking about? It's scientific research.
But don't you see why this is fascinating? It gives us an insight into how we lived 3,000, 5,000 years ago. That's an incredible historical document.
What if it was your equivalent? What if he was like the Carl of the time, and there's people, you know, ghosts now through there going, oh God, I don't believe it, they dug up Carl. They think we're all like that. Oh no, they're going into his brain now. They're looking at how his brain works. We're gonna get such a bad rep. Oh
well,
dear.
Each to their own. If you like it, I just thought it was a bit of a
waste of money.
a little bit of a waste.
Yeah, okay.
But, there you go. Anyway, will we give out the answers to Rockbusters next?
If we must.
Yeah.
It sometimes stuns me. Sometimes I'm taken aback, do you know what I mean?
But what worries me is if one day aliens do visit,
I'd love
and
that.
they come down, but what worries me is they might bump into, what if they bump into you? What if they bump into you and they think that you represent mankind?
And they go up and they start another planet.
They can they say, we'll ask you 3 questions, and if you answer them correctly, we will not blow up your planet.
Yeah.
We'd be doomed.
It depends.
It depends what they ask you, don't they? What if they said, right, Carl, what's the weirdest thing ever found in China?
I say hairy Chinese kid.
And they go, right.
Okay, interesting.
Do I, right?
What don't you see anymore?
What do you see an old bloke doing?
You don't see an old fella eating a Twix.
Yeah. And they say, what if they asked you, what's across the road from you when you're washing up?
Well, there's 3 things. Do you just want one of them?
No, I want all 3.
You want all 3? There was a Chinese kid dancing about in his underpants.
Yeah.
There was a bouncer every night getting ready to go to work. And the 3rd one, the old woman reading a book, the same book.
And they go, right, your planet's saved. See,
Gorg, back in the ship.
Yeah,
they are a superior race.
Well,
I just feel the listeners should be able to contribute.
They do.
Yeah.
They phone and say, the show's rubbish, move on, can we experiment on Carl? I'm a doctor.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would like to tattoo on
Would he
Carl's
like
head.
a tattoo? Yeah. Oh dear.
Carl, have you got any tattoos? Have you ever thought about that? Any kind of piercings?
don't like the idea. Don't mess with your body and that.
Okay.
He doesn't like the human body, he's scared of it.
But I told you, didn't I, about me uncle
God.
Tattoo Stan. We've talked about that, haven't we?
Yeah, tattoo stand, yeah.
He's got loads, and I think now he sort of, looks in the mirror and think, oh, what have I done?
Yeah.
But then again,
So do you.
I was
With me life, go
telling
on.
Ricky before about someone who had a tattoo. It's a bit horrible, really, isn't it?
I don't know, I can't remember.
The skin thing.
Oh God, yeah.
You're not going to tell us it?
Again, I'm hoping it's not true because it's from Carl, but it's pretty disgusting. But yeah, unfortunately, because there's no paranormal or animals acting like humans involved, I think it might be true. It's a fellow who kept his dad's tattoo.
Yeah, he just sort of, when his dad passed away, he got the skin off and put it in a frame.
Who'd you ask to do that?
Oh, man alive.
Ashes to ashes. Sorry. Before we bury it, you don't.
Before we cremate, and I've got a Stanley knife.
Do you do any other services? Like what, my son? I'll just pop some of him in a jar for me. I'm sorry. How do you? I mean,
I bought this clip frame from IKEA.
Yeah.
You just slip that between there.
$4.99.
Yeah.
Oh,
I imagine your father is a man who's probably appalled by the idea of tattoos, earrings, things like that. I imagine he's quite an old school gent.
He's never sort of said anything, but,
If you came back with an earring, what would he have said when you were a youngster?
I never saw him that much as a kid, so I don't think he'd have noticed. My mum would have said, what have you done that for?
Yeah.
Our kid had a tattoo. And an earring.
Sorry, is this the one that borrowed a tank from the army to go and get a packet of fads?
Yeah.
Wow, there you go.
We must tell that story again next week. For those that are fairly new listeners, that's got to seem tantalising.
Yeah.
Your brother once drove a tank down to the local shops to buy some cigarettes. Absolutely true.
Yeah.
It's an extraordinary story.
But that's it. We don't
It was that other auntie you told me about in the week. Not Auntie Nora, the one that farted for 5 minutes, but there's another auntie you talked about. How many aunties have you
I
got?
haven't really got another auntie. I've got me brother,
Yeah.
who I haven't seen in ages.
Yeah.
My sister I hadn't seen for about 12 years, then I saw her again, and then she got fed up because I said,
Oh, you had a new kid and you went with all the same. I've seen one, I've seen them all.
yeah,
Why is she saying that to your sister?
Your sister, you haven't seen her for how long?
I hadn't seen her for about 12 years, and then for some reason I met her in a car park in Wales.
Right.
And,
It's incredible, isn't it?
For some reason.
Yeah.
and, she got in the back of the car and she said, oh, I want to show you something, right? And, she got this picture out and said, look at that. and it was one of my new nieces and nephews. You
was
can't tell, can
her
you, if it's a
daughter
boy
or
or
her
a girl.
son?
Yeah, or whatever. And she said, "Look at that," and I said, "Oh." And I sort of said, "Well, there's no point showing it me. All babies look the same, don't
There's
they?"
no point in showing it me. It just takes 2 seconds of your life. You go, oh, lovely.
right.
That's all you have to do.
If it was a first,
Yeah.
I'd say, oh, I'd show a bit of interest, even though.
Do you think the novelty wore off for her with the second kid, third kid?
Sixth kid. Yeah, I think even she should be bored of looking at pictures of babies.
Kind of a woman is she? And can I get her phone number?
Right, is that it then?
Play a tune. Have we got? Is this it?
This is it.
Have we got to wrap it all up?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I forgot to bring in a song for the ladies this week, so I thought I'd play a song for people who enjoy the work of Deep Purple.
That run and run.
Here's Deep Purple. See you next week. Bye.